I'm here today to give you a little bit of an insight into how Cloud ALM for Service can help you enrich your service deliveries. And when we are talking service deliveries, our starting point is, of course, always the customer. And at SAP, we are at a situation where we have a very, very diverse customer base. So SAP customers come in all shapes and sizes. We have SAP customers that have a very large, very extensive solution landscape, very complex. We have customers that have a very small SAP solution landscape. We have customers still, as we heard this morning, that are exclusively on-premise customers. We have customers operating hybrid solutions. And we have customers that are exclusively using cloud products. On top of that, we have different types of service contracts when it comes to support services. So we have max attention services, max attention contracts, active attention contracts, enterprise support contracts. We have preferred success contracts in which support services are delivered. We also have services delivered as part of professional services. And of course, that's not enough complexity. Also, the services within our support contracts are highly diverse. So we have everything. We have services that take half a day. We have services that take several weeks. We have services that are delivered exclusively remotely, exclusively on-site, automated, manual, semi-automated. So when we are talking about service deliveries, we are talking about all these customers, all these service deliveries. Now, to get a handle on what do customers need for their service deliveries, how can we make the service delivery experience for customers easier, a more enjoyable experience? Of course, it's easier to look at individual customers. We have talked to individual customers about what are their pain points when it comes to service deliveries. And there are reoccurring comments that we are getting. So to illustrate that, let's imagine a sample customer. We've picked for our sample customer a max attention customer who's implementing S/4HANA, has an ongoing implementation project for S/4HANA, but is also implementing a couple of cloud products. And as part of that project, they already had a couple of service deliveries that were delivered. They have further upcoming service deliveries that will help them safeguard the implementation of their project. Now, what are the things that our sample customer is struggling with when it comes to service delivery? And the very first thing, put yourself in the shoes of this customer. The very first thing that this customer is struggling with, that a lot of our customers are struggling with, is getting visibility on what kind of service activities are going on at that customer. Yeah, so finding out simple things like what services were already delivered, when were they delivered, what was the scope, what was the outcome, who from SAP delivered these services, were there action items coming from these service deliveries, what is the status of these action items, have they already been worked on, have the problems that initially triggered the service deliveries been resolved, or are we still working on them, and do we even need further services from SAP to help us resolve these problem situations? So, simple thing, getting visibility. Of course, customers can get visibility manually at the moment. Yeah? So there isn't really an easy way to get that visibility for past service deliveries. If I have these past service deliveries, there is no way for them to really see what were the outcomes, where can I find the service results. Present service deliveries. Can you tell at this moment what service deliveries happened last week, are happening this week, will happen next week at a customer? Also very difficult to tell. And with that comes also the question of what's the preparation status for these service deliveries? Have they been properly prepared? Do the SAP consultants, who are the SAP consultants delivering? Do they have access to the solution landscape that they need? Do they have all the information, all the documentation that they need for their service delivery? What was the scope agreed upon for these service deliveries? All very, very difficult to find out. For the ongoing service deliveries, are there intermediate results? Is there something that, even though the service started yesterday, it's still ongoing? Can I already take some deliverables? Can I already take some things I can do now? Things where I don't have to wait until the end of the week to get a wrap-up presentation and to find out in a consolidated manner what has to be done to address my pain points. And then, of course, the question, what are my future service deliveries? What is still coming up in the next weeks and months? Again, the question, do I already know who's coming on site or who's doing the service delivery remotely? What's my preparation status? Is there something that can already be done now? Some operations handbooks, some interface documentation, some development guidelines, testing concept that can already be shared with the SAP service consultants to facilitate the service delivery. The second thing that our sample customer is struggling with are the service lead times. Yeah, so this is something that we are getting continuously from customers that they complain about. It takes too long from pain point is identified to I identify what's the service that helps me address that pain point, and then to the actual service delivery. Third pain point that customers, our sample customer, and of course in general also customers complain about, is the question of our service content is not prescriptive enough. Meaning, I have a pain point, I'm getting a service delivered to address that pain point, but even after the service delivery, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do, and the service delivery doesn't really help me in getting rid of that pain point. That leads to me having to get several service deliveries to really improve the situation that was the trigger for the initial service delivery. Another problem that this customer has, service results have been communicated. I don't know what your experience there is, but our sample customer has gotten service results in PowerPoint, in Excel, in Word documents, sometimes as PDF documents, sometimes not, and usually quite long. Yeah, so 200 pages Word document as a service result is something that I always say you need a quiet Friday evening to even read through that. But of course, you want to have the actionable items out of that. You want to know what are the things that I have to follow up upon, and to extract that from 200 pages of a Word document is very time-consuming. It's nothing that I can immediately work with. So this is something that is the customer, our sample customer, is unhappy with. The outdated output formats also don't help. The problem that all these different services provide their service results in different formats. It's always a different structure for the result that our sample customer has to get used to. There isn't one place where he can access all the service results, and overall, it puts a lot of manual effort on our sample customer. Now the question is, what do we from SAP want to do about it to make it easier for our sample customer and of course in the end for all customers? And let's start for this with a vision. What do we envision? What we envision is a central collaboration platform between all parties involved in service delivery, meaning the customer as the one that requests the service and gets the service delivered, meaning SAP, both the front office and the domain experts, but also meaning the partners and the service providers. And in order to provide such a central collaboration platform, we want to provide it, our vision is to provide it powered by Cloud ALM in the cloud, making use of artificial intelligence, making use of machine learning, so that via this common collaboration platform, we can have a cross-team decision-making. The extent to which this collaboration happens largely depends on the customer. Yeah, so in the end, it's the customer, we will see later on as well, in the end, it's the customer that makes the choice, do they want to collaborate with us or not? If they don't want to collaborate, nothing we can do about it. But if they collaborate, then it makes it easier and it makes it a more comprehensive and more streamlined experience overall for service delivery, both for the customer and for SAP and also for the partners and service providers. So that's our vision. We've already started to implement this vision. So let's have a look at what we have currently provided. The first thing that you have to remember, back to this morning, to what Stefan said, is it's not just about providing a set of tools, it's also about providing standardization and innovation about the processes, of the processes. Yeah? So we are not just building tools, we are also innovating, standardizing the service delivery process. The tools should simply support the process that we are providing. We are doing so using Cloud ALM for Service by introducing a cloud-based application, a cloud-based collaboration platform. We are getting rid of one major problem that we had in the on-premise world, which was that whenever it came to service delivery, we never had the latest software release version available, which was quite frustrating, both on SAP side and also for customer side. If you know there are new functions available, but the customer hasn't upgraded Solution Manager yet, because it took some time to upgrade Solution Manager. Yeah, so now we are doing this via a platform that is operated and maintained by SAP, meaning with our continuous delivery cycles that we have always an option to bring a new function. We continuously improve our tools and we free up resources on the customer side when it comes to the preparation of services, because everything that had to do with, oh, this node was missing in SAP Solution Manager, or this support package level didn't fit, is gone. We are also introducing a collaboration platform to share the deliverables, action items, and service results. Again, making the whole service delivery experience a lot more streamlined, because you can imagine right now what has to happen if, let's say, someone, part of the service preparation, falls sick, someone else has to step in. They basically have to chase emails, they have to follow up with people and see what's the status of the preparation, what has already happened. So by providing one central collaboration platform where you can simply look, all relevant information is in there, you have a chance to see what has happened, you're immediately up to date, and you immediately have a chance to pick up where the others left off. Last but not least, we're standardizing, and we started to standardize and digitize the service results, meaning all service results are always available in the same place. They are always in the same structure, more or less. The user experience accessing these service results is always the same. Actionable items that come out of a service delivery are tracked and are documented in a way that they are actually trackable items, so they're not just in a Word document. Right now, we're doing this for max attention, active attention, enterprise support. As I said in the beginning, our vision is of course broader. We simply had to start somewhere, so we started there. But we will see when we have a look at the roadmap that we also want to extend from there. How does it work? It basically works via a set of applications for Cloud ALM for Service SAP internally, and a set of applications in the customer Cloud ALM tenant. Now, as I said, for full collaboration, there needs to be data exchange between the SAP internal side and the SAP external side, so the customer Cloud ALM tenant. Whether or not that data exchange happens is the choice of the customer. You have to give data consent for that data replication to work. You can withdraw that consent at any moment without giving any reasons, so it's completely up to the customers if they want to do that or not. From an application perspective, the internal application, the external application are very similar. Look and feel is the same. The applications that we have available is the same. The reason that we have the internal application, it's simply that we have QA processes, and it's easier, of course, to document our findings without our service delivery consultants having to request access in the customer tenant. In both the internal side and in the external side, we have an application called the Service Delivery Center. The Service Delivery Center on the internal side is the one that gets the information about what are the services that are scheduled for a customer, and then replicates that to the customer tenant. In the customer tenant, this Service Delivery Center is the central access point for everything that you want to know about your service deliveries. Yeah? So anything, past service deliveries, current service deliveries, status of the preparation, result of the service deliveries, everything, who were the people delivering, you can find in the Service Delivery Center. The second application that we have both on the internal side and the external side is the Service Result application. That's where you can access the information about what was the outcome of the service, of the services. And then, last but not least, the actionable items via the issues and actions, both on the internal side and then for customers to follow up on the external, so on the customer Cloud ALM side. We have Friday morning 2 sessions regarding Cloud ALM for Service. So if you want to see the application in action, you can come Friday morning to a session. There's one session that Preeti is doing on Friday morning, one session I'm doing. You can have a look at the details there. At the moment, you have to, I'm a little bit hesitant to show this slide because we are living in an environment where continuously new services are onboarded. So the chances are high, as we are speaking now, that this is outdated. Yeah? But we are talking 30+ services for Max Attention, Active Attention that have been onboarded to Cloud ALM, and 7+ services for enterprise support that have been onboarded, meaning for all these services, you can find the information in the Service Delivery Center, you can find the information who delivered them, you can find the preparation status, you can find the service results, you can find the action items once the services have been delivered. Of course, looking back at the initial slide of our vision, it's our first version. We do realize that that's not where we are yet. Yeah? So it's our first version that we've made available to customers. And we have a long list of requirements of additional services, or for additional services we want to onboard. There are actually 2 strategies that we're doing. One strategy is to onboard new services. Second strategy, for the existing services, provide new functions so that the onboarding, the functional coverage of the tools can be extended. And the next big block of services that we want to bring in are preferred success services, so services in the cloud world. All of these are fully automated services, so we are aware of the fact that we'll need to have full automation in order to bring these services in, to onboard them. We've also started already looking at data analysis via artificial intelligence intelligence and machine learning. So we have a lot of services that look extensively at data, at custom code, at data volume data, at system log information. And what we want to be able to do is use artificial intelligence technologies to do outlier detection, to do automatic pattern detection. And once we do that, of course, we also have to think about visualizing data. Yeah, making sure that the data that we've analyzed, we can visualize it properly. And once we have all of that, of course, we also know that if we have everything automated, using machine learning, using artificial intelligence, then we also want to provide customers with the option to trigger self-services, to simply press a button and say, I start that service execution. I don't have to wait for the lead time, and someone has to find a service consultant in order to be able to deliver this kind of service. Doing that, hopefully next year at the ALM Summit, we will be in a situation where we have taken a considerable step closer towards achieving our vision. And with that, I hand over to Wieland to give, as head of engineering, to give us an introduction to Powered by Cloud ALM.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ulrike, I really like the way how you present. She excuses to have only 30 services live. Honestly, the team started less than a year ago. Yeah? They went live in the first Q1. They made that happen. I think it's stunning, to be clear. This is stunning what you delivered, and with this vision in the back, I think you have a lot to deliver more. I really appreciate to have that team on board as well. And with that, we come to how do we do that all? Yeah, you have heard in the morning Mark speaking on the overall vision. You have heard Steffi that she will plug on a next solution on the transformation. You have heard Michael Klöffer speaking about all that, what we have already delivered and what we go to deliver in the future on the implementation roadmap. And Janko was showing what we do on that, that we have a solution for all the run environment and the operation environment. We now saw that the youngest kid on the block is live now with service, and that we have already 30 services live there and more to come. And then she speaks about artificial intelligence. She speaks about data. So what is enabling that? And how does the team of the engineering team build all that stuff? This is what we speak now, a little bit more in the details on the platform side and how we do that. And that's what we call Powered by Cloud, SAP Cloud ALM. And by the way, not CALM, yeah, to make very clear on that one. I think Mark has to pay 10 euros. He said 1 times CALM in the presentation, I'm pretty sure. So it is SAP Cloud ALM, yeah? And what is behind that? I would like to go to that slide a little bit, not too much. And I don't want to overwhelm you with the slide, but that's basically the game which we play. You see on the left-hand side the customer-owned area. That is the tip of the iceberg you see when you use our solutions. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. The iceberg is on the right-hand side. That's all what is behind that SAP-owned and what Ulrike was speaking about. And you see that on 3 layers. On the top layer, you see on the customer side, the applications you're using. S/4HANA, Ariba, Concur, all these applications. And we have plugged into that applications with our built-in support. That's not something which we speak here on the ALM Summit, but which we have as well for the overall service and support side to really plug in the support directly into the application. And clear, Janko is live there as well, because all the data, all the observation which we have to do on the application comes from there. That is the top right, the top left corner on the customer side. And then we have the applications. We have spoken about that. We have spoken about today on build, or run, on service. We complement that with BTT. We complement that with Signavio and with Tricentis. That's all the application side which you see and which is helping you on your business side, on your ALM part. And then there's the right-hand side. I will not go in all the details because otherwise I will use 2 hours. But that is supporting the game. There's the data lake, the SAP Service and Support Data Lake, the data which we feed into that application so we train the algorithms, and where we have all the support on our own portals. When you today maintain and get into that you start to create a ticket, which you shouldn't do because our solution should work, but that's another story. So yes, when you create a ticket, we already run artificial intelligence through that because we already propose to you the right solutions. So all that comes out of that area which supports the overall story. But then we come to the platform layer. And that's where I would like to speak a little bit about, because we do things differently than we did it in the past. We power that all by that what we call SAP Cloud ALM, and where we have platforms to support all these different solutions. Technically, yes, this all runs on SAP Business Technology Platform. That's what you see on the lowest level. But we have enriched that platform via services which we in the end collect together to empowered by SAP Cloud ALM. And yes, also the methodology how we develop is differently. We have enriched that with a CI/CD, a framework which we call internally SAP Deploy with Confidence. And CI/CD is a continuous integration, continuous delivery platform, which we enriched here. And when we started initially and we thought about how do we go to the cloud, then we came to a principle that we have to reach a quality which is much, much, much beyond that what we had done in the past on-premise. Because we all run you simultaneously on one environment. And if you want to continue innovation, we have to be on a totally different level. And when you go into that engineering, you best go for DORA at Google, for example, which gives you KPIs. If you follow them, then you automatically go to another quality level. Take it out of the internet, you find these topics. I think DORA at Google is famous. DORA was an own research company, DevOps Research Assessment, that's what DORA stands for. And yes, this company was then acquired by Google as the right level of engineering in the cloud, and therefore we are working together with them on that level, and we are on an elite level on that quality there. I will come to that a little bit more. But what is the benefit for you in the end? The benefit for a customer in the end is that what I have written on the columns. One customer onboarding, one commercialization. Come to that. One daily innovation circle. You're asking, why daily? Come on. Yeah? You can get that yearly or half yearly. Is it good enough, isn't it? Anyway, every release change is a horror. That's your experience which you had in the past on-premise. But when you look to Google or to Amazon, you know what it is. You get micro deliveries. You will not realize the changes. Why? They come with the right quality. They add just the next nice feature. You just realize on the screen, oh, I haven't used that one. Was this here yesterday? Oh, I just tried it out and it works. It's exactly the same way how we do it. We deploy daily the code to production. We have only one code line, which gives us a stunning quality because we don't bifurcate code, have to correct code here and have to merge it back here to another code version and then find the next error. We have only one code line. And it gives you one entitlement. It simplifies for you the overall life. You have one entitlement, you onboard once, and that's it. Let's go through that step by step. You have one onboarding link because you're entitled as soon as you have your support contract with SAP for one of our products. For BTP, for one of our LOB solutions, for whatever. When you have a SAP support contract, you're entitled. We're entitled all 74,000 customers with support contracts. So if it gets really hard tonight, 74,000 will onboard. That's what is technically the situation. Yes, you can all onboard. It's one link. It's 15 minutes away for you. We have it fully automated from the first day on. In 2019, I was already standing here and told you the onboarding is completely automated. Why? Not because I couldn't automate that 50 customers at that time manually. No, because I want to scale in the cloud with a perfect quality and with a perfect experience for you. You click on that link, 15 minutes later, you get your email, you log on, and you are on your productive tenant. You maintain your users, you configure the implementation, you configure whatever you want to have on the connections to your systems, and to all our ALB solutions, we anyway deliver you the content. Out of the box. That is what cloud experience is on the onboarding. Cloud innovation culture, why daily? Because we go down to micro deliveries, and with that, to a quality which we could never reach before. We are not activating daily features. Mark said we are activating bi-weekly. Okay, we will tell him after that session here that the teams are also allowed to activate between the bi-weekly, yeah? But together with their product owners. So they decide whenever they're ready, and then they go out. In the beginning, we started bi-weekly strict to help the teams to engineer rightly. In the meantime, we are as good that we can allow the teams to go by themselves. Great, isn't it? So with that, we reach the situation that we daily deploy the code. The code is there. And releasing means that someone just pushes one button means release that feature toggle. Activate that feature toggle in production. And with that, it shows up in your system as feature, documented, translated, ready to consume. Clearly, including data migration if necessary, but that was already done with the daily deployments before you didn't realize that. Okay? So with that, we run a daily innovation cycle, and whenever we are ready, we're releasing features continuously. What do you have to do on the testing side? You have to shift whatever you can to the left. You call that the shift left principle. You have to do everything in engineering before you release. When we define a new feature toggle, we define the feature, we define what it is, we define the test procedure, we build the test, and then we build the feature. And then we release daily till the feature is ready, and then we lift the toggle. And we have lifted the toggle, means that we have also to delete the toggle in the coding in the end. I described that to you, that you understand we have a complete different test pyramid now. We have a full unit test with a 90 plus code coverage, 90% plus code coverage. We have a complete integration test scenarios, and we have more than 100 end-to-end tests and API tests running daily. No. Running every half hour. And you know who is doing that? Ducky. You're laughing. I go with you on Slack. Slack, 18th of October, 2022. Ducky 2.0, in the meantime we have a 2.0 Ducky, has tested the deployment on Calm EU10, which is the Amazon environment, EU20, which is the Azure environment, Xalm, which is your environment where your 5,000 consultants are in with your users. Oh, there are two deployments which I'm not allowed to speak about because they are not yet released. And performance environment and a performance environment on the Azure environment. This is what we do. This is Ducky. Thanks to you. So, this is what we do daily. What do we do as well? Resilience test. So something probably, I'm not sure how familiar you're with that. End-to-end tests are typically run under the assumption that everything works fine. That's the assumption how all your tests are running. But there is a real world, and in the real world, sometimes a data center, a microservice, or whatever is not available. So there has to be tests which tests the chaos. You call that chaos engineering. So you have to test under the condition that something is not available. And we simulate that with our developers. Why we do that? Because if something is really breaking, then there comes the stress. What do we do now? What do we have to do now? No. Also, this process, you have to run with your developers. You do chaos engineering. You plug something. The people, what is it? Find it out. How do we have to react? And train it. And that's what we do with resilience testing as well, to get that process, to get the software on even a quality that if a service is breaking, what was that service? What was breaking in the service area, Ulrike? I think it was document management, correct? The document management, you couldn't upload the documents anymore. The rest of the application works stable and clear. You can still continue. It's a degradation of a service, not the whole solution breaks. That's what you have to reach with resilience. And that's what we do as well. So, having spoken to that, that is the one benefit which we provide to all the applications which you have seen on this powered by CALM. Whenever I just go back, whether we build, run, whether we build service, whether we build a tenant which is not visible for you, that is the cross ALM tenant, or whether we build public access points for certain services where you don't need a customer user, where you just need a global user like an email, like a universal ID, which we also publish on that platform. Like, for example, the roadmap viewer or something like that. So, yes, we extend then different solutions. One we spoke now about, and one of my chief architects always says, now we get additional solutions, not for the price to +1, we just get it for the price plus 0.x. Means 3 or 4, because all the environment, all the topics which I spoke about are available for all the solutions automatically. So, let's go, what can you expect in the future from that? What is this 1+1 on that platform? That 1+1 is always more on a platform because now here comes the integration with it. So yes, when we build that and when we build and design that, then it's clear you can expect that the readiness check, which is a public service, is the future then integrated to our implementation service. I speak about future, I don't speak about that what we have committed now here, yeah? So I speak about insights here. Yes, you can expect that our Signavio solution is fully integrated. And why does Gero promise you, the CEO of Signavio, that it works, that you can't even differentiate the situation whether you work on Signavio or whether you work on CALM? Because he is using this platform with the exact same microservice underneath. Thank you, €10, you're right. Absolutely. I give. We make it. I leave it here for more. Yeah? Thank you. So, yes, you can expect that what Ulrike promised you for the future is also there. Oh, first, yes, you can expect that our testing works together, automatically integrated with the automation of Tricentis, with our test management in CALM, in SAP Cloud ALM. 20. It gets an expensive speech. Okay, and yes, you can expect that we have a full data governance behind, which means that we fully anonymize data, having the data lake, get our machine learning together, and provide those services, as already mentioned, completely then back to the solutions. That's something which I think that you understand, this tip of iceberg of the ALM, which you have seen in the past, which you had just as an on-premise solution in the past that's available, now gets really cloud world together. I think it now makes sense to really advertise to all partners that it makes sense to integrate to that solution and to that platform. So yes, we build our third-party integration to Tricentis, to other solutions, to Signavio, to all that via APIs. we publish those APIs. So you can reuse those APIs for your integration, also for your third-party solutions and your add-ons. That's a normal partner behavior, a partner opening. That's a normal situation how we would like to work with you together. And yes, some of you did that already based on the service APIs which are already available. Some of the names you see below, and tomorrow we'll see some winners or whatever. I think you will organize that, Tim, for us, hopefully. And yes, we will see the results of Almaton. What I want to make clear is this is the normal play. We are here together to speak to each other, with each other. And what we would like to learn from you is, are your expectations as partners beyond that? Michael is here, Michael Klöffer, Mark is here, myself. What are your expectations as partners to this platform and how we can work together? You have seen how our service team in SAP is already using it. Let's dream, let's work together in the future and go even beyond that scope. Yes, you have brought all your solutions already on the ALM Partner Hub, and I invite you to that, to do all that, what you see here, with all the partners which have already plugged that on the ALM Partner Hub. Come on, do the same. Show the world what you have done, what you can provide into that solution space. And yes, let's complete that to complete ALM suite for our customers. Thank you for your time, and thank you for listening.